Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Haikyu video. Today, I want to do a odd sort of tier list video. Now, we are in a weird game state where team builds aren't exactly finished yet. We're still waiting on some SSRs. And I think the meta is going to evolve in this game where we're going to start to be able to build certain teams as early as next week. But I want to get this tier list video out now. Just to sort of give an idea of units that you should be building around at the current given time. This will not include major units coming out in the future, but I may mention them as we sort of put some units into a tier list format. So, if you are ready, I have got the SSRs ready at the moment. What I will do is I'll move my face just slightly so that, you can see the units, but I want to talk about, firstly, let's talk about the UR units. So, within this tier list, I'm going to include Ushijima as an S tier, and I'm going to include Kuro as an A tier. And a lot of people are going to immediately go, what does this mean? Well, I'm thinking about future, I'm thinking about the future, and I'm thinking about current. If we were to go currently on power alone, they would both be in the S tier. But with future in mind slightly, I want to put Kuro on a slightly lower level because, unfortunately, his team doesn't quite he doesn't have as much use later on with team building. He does particularly work well in the Nekoma comp, and outside of that Nekoma comp, he doesn't really fit too well with other characters later coming in SP or in high like UR rarities that just overtake him. So we're going to keep him on A tier, but I will put it this way, you will still see him at the highest tier of JP and Taiwan still. But Ushijima is going to be on a pedestal of his own because, he is still in the sort of that top 10 team for Taiwan and JP as well. So he is just, the longevity on this boy is big. Right, let's start with some SSRs. So right now, I'm going to go put Hinata on B tier. Very good SSR, very, very good SSR. Works really well in the Karasuno team. But again, Karasuno doesn't get a lot of support. Right now, it feels okay. I'm sort of planning for Bokuto and potentially Oikawa as well. So if we're only thinking about Bokuto and Oikawa as the only other URs for this tier list, we're going to ignore sort of everything else at the bottom here. I would sort of go Hinata's going to be at that B tier. He's going to be a good unit to have because, again, he has the bonds with the Bokuto, which is quite nice. But he also, just doesn't do enough at the very moment. This Kuro is going to probably sit about C tier. It's not that good. Again, the UR version is out and is very, very good. Oikawa, currently the best power setter in the game. Him or the SR Sugawara. Like, you've got two options. You've got the SR Sugawara, which is really good. But I'm going to put him down here. And the reason is, again, let's just go cover these UR units. The next unit being Oikawa. Oikawa's going to be a very good S rank. It's going to be the strongest power setter until Akashi comes out, which is this one over here. This Akashi isn't going to come out for a long, long time. So, for the longest time, Akashi is going to be... Oikawa is going to be the strongest power setter in the game. So, for the long term, these two are going to partner up really, really well. It's why he's going to sit in that S tier for me. He is brilliant. And then Bokuto. I'm going to, again, put Bokuto in the A tier. He is individually fantastic. Within the Fukurodani team, he is fantastic. But outside of that, he doesn't really do well. Just like Kuro, outside of his own team buff, he's not great. Whilst Oikawa can just be sort of put into a lot of comps, as long as you have a power setter like Oikawa and Ushijima like together. You could still build the Shiratorizawa team around him, but if you don't and you just want to go for a bunch of duos, maybe down the line you want to just build Sakasu and I forgot this guy's name, or Hoshimi and I think his name, I forgot his name as well. But if you want to build, say, any of those two, they're just going to simply slot straight in, and these two are going to be fine to play with them. So, worth noting that. We are going to just press on. So, Mad Dog. Mad Dog for me is an A tier. I know this is going to sound crazy, but he is really, really, really underappreciated. I think especially if you're going to build around Oikawa, Mad Dog is fantastic. Although, if you have Ushijima, it's a no-brainer. You go Ushijima over Mad Dog. He is that second opposite hitter, though, that for me is always going to just be there. For my team 2, I use him very regularly. I think he's amazing and is definitely worth being where he is. You know what? If I have to put Iwaizumi somewhere, it's got to be in the A tier again, because the Oikawa setup is going to be great with him. So maybe you want to play Iwaizumi and Oikawa together. The rest you could go Shiratorizawa, which is really cool. Very, very strong comp, and he also really good bonds. He's going to go sitting there too. Ione, very, very good player. He's one of the best blockers in the game, if not the best blocker in the game, even with Kuro out. Very underappreciated though. Super good. The rest of Dateko, this is going to be a hot take because they are all individually very, very good. The whole Dateko team together is very, very good, but we're going to stick them all in the B tier because they are individually really solid units. Maybe even stick him really high B tier because he is actually good. But in terms of importance, I don't want people re-rolling into this team because the longevity isn't there. Yes, there is an SP Ione coming out at some point, but that's coming out so late at this point that it's just not worth even thinking about a Dateko team. And also, he's individually so good later on that you don't actually need a team around him. We will cover Kageyama. Honestly, in terms of quick setters, right now, he is still at pinnacle. For me, he's still better than Oikawa. He will go sit there. Goshiki as a wing spiker, I think, is insane. He's definitely going to be in that high A tier. Tendo is almost definitely going to be on that high A tier. Very, very, very good unit. A unit that's not out yet. Let's cover a unit that's not out yet. And it is going to be, I forgot his name, but very good wing spiker. Arguably, in this sort of category, he is better than Goshiki, technically. But, you know, solid, solid, solid player. As far as Liberos go, the Shiratorizawa Libero goes up there as well, because this Shira team, next week, these characters should be out. We're expecting the Libero here and Yaku the Libero to come out, potentially plus him. So I'm just going to put them on a tier list now anyway. They're going to all go into the A tier. They are all absolutely fantastic. And where is Yaku? Let's go throw Yaku into the mix as well. Wow, I do not see Yaku on this tier list. I am absolutely blind, and that's okay. Listen, Yaku I can't see for some reason. Maybe we'll see him in a second. But Yaku will also be within that A tier. He is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant Libero and deserves to be up there. Okay? Cool. Right, let's talk about... I don't want to talk about the Inazaki boys because they're not coming out for a while. Daichi for me is a C tier. I think he's... If you're playing full Karasuno, he's good. But really, Ushijima is so good that you just tech that in anyway. You don't need 6 or 7 Karasuno people. Azumane. Probably high C tier. Again, really good bonds, really good connections, really good character. Just had a huge stamina problem. Kenma. Kenma's a tough one. I'm going to put Kenma in B tier, and I think that's going to be quite... I might be lowballing Kenma here. But I don't think he's insane. I think together these two are insane. But individually, he's probably about here. To be fair, if you play them together and you're playing the Nekoma team, they both probably go up into the S tier. Like, these guys can both be in the S tier when they're being played together. But outside of that, individually, they're probably about here. Which is why I'm going to place them as such. Suki for me has always been an S tier pick, A tier pick. I think he's amazing. Nishinoya, oh, this one's gonna hurt me. I'm gonna put him high B tier. He is really good, but he is also very situational. And now that most of us are going to be moving away from the Karasuno team, he's going to get a lot less love. When the SP Nishinoya comes out, that's going to go right at the top. But up until that point, Nishinoya is not really going to see too much love. So we'll put them there. And then Tanaka, I think, definitely in that A tier. His ability is really, really solid. He is really, really good. Tanaka for me is A tier. And then I think the last unit we're going to cover is Liev, who I'm going to put into the B tier next to Yeah, Kenma. And the reason is again, if you're playing Lev, Kenma, you're playing Kuro, and you're playing Yaku, who I don't have a picture for. If you're playing Yaku as well, then they are just brilliant. The Nekoma team together works really, really well with all the links. But individually, this is where I would rank them. I don't want to talk about these units because these units aren't out yet, which I think is a fair shout. But that for me is the tier list coming out. I think that's what we should be looking at. Personally, if we're looking at teams, we're going to see the likes of these two most likely being played alongside like something like these four here as the remaining players. You've got a setter, you've got an opposite hitter, you've got a middle blocker here. You need a second middle blocker because you'd probably run these two as the other one. You can run him if you don't want to run Iwaizumi. The other middle blocker you'd probably run is Kuro for now. You can also run Suki. It's up to you if you don't want to invest in Kuro. But that is probably the Shira team at the moment. Later on, as you can see, Shiratorizo does get some setters, but not really needed because you'd run Oikawa. Oikawa is better, but which is why we're not going to talk about them. But yeah, there you go. That for me is the current tier list, and this is going to encapsulate today. It's going to encapsulate a week from now, and really, it's going to probably encapsulate up until the Oikawa release. So with the Oikawa release coming up in about 2-3 weeks, I think this is going to cover the next 3 weeks of what I think are the best units, what I think are chased units, and what you should be going for. And then hopefully we'll be able to add some of these guys as they start to come out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. There's a quick tier list for you guys on what I think you should be chasing. I hope that helps. I mean, we do have team building guides as well, so you can go and check them out. I'll try and like pin them somewhere so you can click on them. But I'll see you on the next one. Bye.